All right, guys, what is going on? You're hanging out with Gaming with the Watts, the podcast. I am one of your hosts, Mario, and I am definitely on with my daughter, Dominique. And yes, that's totally not the right name thing, but that's okay. So we want to welcome you into another episode of Gaming with the Watts, the podcast. It is the type of podcast where we talk about video games and all type of stuff like that. We could actually be talking about the games. We can actually be talking about gaming industry stuff and just everything about gaming. When it comes to gaming. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. I want to introduce you guys to Dominique. How are you doing today, Dominique?
I'm doing good.
Okay, I just want to say that Dominique is joining us remotely. She's on location today, and by remotely on location, I mean upstairs in her room. So yeah, that's the type of budget we got where we can be in two different places. I'm in the studio and she's upstairs in her room. And by studio, I mean I'm downstairs in my room. So, any updates, Dominique? You told the people, I think was it episode 1 or 2 that you were getting a new computer, a new laptop, gaming computer. And do you care to get the people update on that?
So I got my computer. Everything's going well. I think the screen has about 6 to 8 scratches on it, and I'm not sure if I want it replaced or not. So I'm thinking about that. And I did a live stream yesterday.
Oh, you did a live stream yesterday?
Yes.
Okay. And in the process of you doing your live stream, how come I wasn't aware of that you were doing a live stream?
Do you want it to know I was doing a live stream?
Yes, I wanted to know what that everybody in Gaming with the Watch would like to have known. What did you live stream, and where did you live stream it at? Because obviously it wasn't on Gaming with the Watts. But go ahead. That's neither here nor there.
I live stream a game called Spiral Knights, and it was on my personal YouTube channel, Dogs223.
Was it with commentary and everything, or was it just gameplay?
Just gameplay. You can't really have commentary with Drayden in the background smashing a door in.
Oh, well, at that particular time, you should have told Drayden to, that you were doing something and that, it would have been behooved him to, allow you to, live stream. Or you could have just told me and I would have enforced that. And as we're recording, my other daughter is calling me. So, wow, this is really, fortunate. So, yeah, we're off to a great start. Hold on. Put y'all on. Okay, dear, I'm going to have to call you back. Hold on. Say hey to the people. We're recording a podcast. Say hey.
Hey.
Yeah, she is, that's my daughter, Shayla, and her timing is really horrible. She called while me and Dominique is podcasting. Say hey to your sister, Dominique.
Hey, Shayla.
She said, hey, Shayla.
Hey, all right. Go ahead. I love you.
Okay, we will call you back when we're done. All right. See, that's the type of stuff that you guys will get only right here on Gaming with the Watts. See, we are a family gaming channel, and that was family who called. I mean, it was impromptu, but yeah, that's that's where we at. So we're going to get into a bit of gaming news and talk about some stuff that we want to talk about. But the overall theme of this podcast is the future of gaming. And I guess Dominique would like to talk about where we would like to see gaming go. But don't forget, you can find us everywhere out there that podcast or streaming. You can find us right here on YouTube. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, the notification, all that stuff that you hear every YouTuber say. Just copy and paste it in for us too. So do that. And also, if you would like to support, don't forget, you can go to Anchor, you can support. I'm trying to get Patreon up and all this type of stuff where you can find if you just want to support. So Dominique, what's going on in the news and all of that you would like to talk about, that you find interesting going on in the video game world?
The giant battle between Apple and Epic.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I don't know. Let me get rid of this thing. I don't know why I still got this thing up here, y'all. Sorry. The battle between Epic and Apple, and I think Google was a part of that too, but is Google still in, or did Google pull out, or did they come with some type of settlement? But I know it's really big between Apple and Epic.
Yeah, and they're having a really big fight. They're saying they want to erase all Epic from Apple Store, and that includes Unreal Engine that other smaller game developers use. So if they wipe Unreal Engine off the Apple Store, it just makes it harder for people who use Unreal Engine to develop apps for the App Store.
And also, I heard that Microsoft chimed in on it and they side with Epic. So, and then I saw that Epic released a statement saying, "Don't worry about it. We still gonna find a way for you to make purchases that goes around. I think it's 30% that Apple charges. You know, if you're gonna do transaction through the app, I think Apple want 30%. But if you knew that going in as Epic, why did you sign the deal, or why didn't you guys negotiate a better deal if you knew that if you Epic?" That's all I ask about that. Your thoughts?
I think this is a power move, because I think that almost every, digital gaming store like Google Play, Steam, and all that stuff, they all have like some type of percentage fee that they take for, you hosting their stuff on their platform. So I really think this is the Apple just a publicity move, and they did specifically to Apple because Apple, like one of the most well-known and big players in the hosting games and apps and stuff.
Okay. So when you say power move, you saying power move, and how so? What type of power move?
A publicity power move. You gotta think about this. This drives a lot of attention towards Epic in the gaming industry.
Oh, okay. Well, let me kind of tell you how I see it. Okay. Like, a little different way. I see it from the standpoint that we as people gotta understand, like, it's totally about money, because Apple has a lot of users, has a really big market share, and Epic feels like that they have a lot of things going on, really big market share when it comes to the Fortnite people and gaming. So, but what we didn't realize is that what Epic didn't realize was, like you said, that they was going to say, okay, tell you what, if you're going to play these type of games, we're going to take it out on anybody that uses the Unreal Engine, and they wasn't prepared for that. And I also read something that said that the CEO Epic sent like board members and executives of Apple email at like 2 a.m, pretty much declaring, saying we dug in for war. So it's going to be a battle. So the question I want to know is, do Is Apple getting 30% of every transaction that happens inside of the micro transaction universe, or is it like a one time thing? Or if somebody, I mean, I wonder how they divvying up the money, because if that's the case, Apple is trying to make a whole bunch of money off of services that it's not rendering, and Epic is sharing money that it shouldn't have to share if Apple trying to get a 30% piece of everything that people download inside of the app. So I'm kind of unclear as to how that worked, but this is all about money. You know, Apple want to keep the money, because let's face it, Apple got to be making a boatload of money off of Epic and pretty much Fortnite. Got to be making a boatload of money. I know it's other stuff in there, but let's not misunderstand that Fortnite is the bell cow. Fortnite is the prize horse, you know, here, the prize pig in the fair. So Epic would like to make even more money off of it. And the bottom line to this is Epic is trying to make a play to make themselves popular and famous, that at some point I wouldn't be surprised if Epic doesn't try to open them an app store just like they open up the Epic store. Thoughts on that?
With the App Store, you can go search on the NGP and then use that App Store. But with Apple, you're locked into your system using what apps the Apple ecosystem prefers.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But at the same time, you got to understand that you know, made a play, you know, against the Steam people. You know, Steam had a way that everybody complained about, you know, that, oh, Steam is taking too much, especially from the indie people, that they know that the indie people maybe be struggling, maybe know that they don't have big budgets as it is. So why wouldn't you charge indie studios less to put their games up on Steam? But people don't understand that Steam is a business too. They're not a charity. They have to make money. But the question they're saying is, will they be putting more money back into the pocket of the people who made the game? And Epic came out and said, hey, we will put more money back in the pocket of the people who make the game, because they are people who make games too. So they say, okay, we understand. So Epic is to the point where they were saying Steam charging them too much money too. So they saying Epic is almost like, we don't want to pay nobody for nothing. If y'all using our platform, how much you think you should be paying? And that's the question.
Thing, though, Epic Fortnite wasn't on Steam, though. It never was. When you wanted to go play Fortnite, you have to download an Epic launcher and stuff.
I know, but what I'm talking about, all the other games that Epic may be responsible for, but they had to look at something and say that I don't like their business model. I don't like how they doing it. So I want to try to convince all you other developers and companies to come over here. And when they did that, a lot of people did migrate over to Epic. Are you an Epic person or are you a Steam person?
But there also was a lot of pushback when the Epic store came about, and I kind of agree. I agree that Steam needs to competition, but the way the Epic went about was all wrong.
And how so? How you feel about that? How was it all wrong?
Well, people were complaining about, you know, the Epic Store not having all the features that Steam does, and people were giving the excuse that it just launched. You know, yeah, it's like, yeah, maybe if it launched in like 2000, you know, saying your Steam launch, but like this is 2018. You should, if you're on launching storefront, you should be launching it with all the features that you know you have planned, and not just wait for it to roll on over time. And then they try to get people over here with, you know, free games and stuff instead of actually approving us a platform.
So, would you ever yourself go to would you ever
Whatever what?
would you ever go over to Epic? I mean, I know you're a Steam person, but would you go over to Epic, take a look, and see what's there? Would you ever entertain that, or are you just a Steam loyalist, a Steam fangirl?
Well, I wouldn't say I'm a Steam loyalist, but I really don't want to download, anything Epic because, Tencent has a stake in them, but that's a discussion for another time.
Okay. All right. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Well, we'll leave that right there. We're gonna go into some other news. Some news that I wanted to talk about. I saw that you can go to PlayStation has set up a site, their own site where you can go on there to try to set up pre-order for the PlayStation 5. But there's a catch to that. You have to be selected. You can go on there, you can sign up, but you're not guaranteed to get one. They're going to be randomly choosing people to get it. And I think that, to me, that's kind of counterproductive. I understand why they're doing it. They're doing it to generate buzz, and they just want to see. Well, yeah, that too, but you still can't. Well, I guess you could if you decided that you're gonna randomly do it, because you just never know who would get the random pick. But they also just want to see how many people would pre-order, and to see what type of numbers they would generate. So it's more so it's a marketing thing, just to see what the general interest in buzz in it, even though they gotta know that there's gonna be interest in buzz in it no matter what happens and no matter how it goes about. I mean, it's the PlayStation 5, and people been saying that okay, it's gonna launch relatively soon, within the next couple months, but we still really don't know when it's actually coming out and what the price point. And in related news, a lot of rumors are saying that the digital version of it is going to be $3.99, and the version that has the Blu-ray drive, Blu-ray disc player thing in it, it's going to be $4.99. And I want to ask you, are those good price points to you, or do you think that that's too much?
So the digital version is going to be $3.99, while the disc is going to be $4.99?
Yes. $100 difference between the two. One comes with no disc, and the other one comes with a disc drive.
I think those are good prices, because like $3.99 for like the only digital version is like only $100 more than the regular Nintendo Switch model.
Okay. All right. Well, I think that those are, no matter how you try to chalk it up, those are good prices, for the simple fact that, I mean, it could be more. I mean, I've heard anything from that. It could be $5.99 and all that. But here's the thing: you don't want it to be that way. You want it to be outrageous, where people can't get it in their hands and people can't buy it. Because I would warn anybody, still just let it come out. Take some time before you buy it. Maybe save up a little money. Maybe see how the game lineup is going to be. Because you got to remember, they could promise you anything at launch and say, oh, this game is going to be available. This game is going to be available. These features are going to be available. But what I've learned with the video game industry lately, especially as of late, they promise you things, and then you won't see them immediately. They'll tell you it's going to come out with the first update, with the first patch. Just like with Madden right now. Madden is out, and they promise all these changes to the franchise mode, promise changes to this, because you remember at one point, hashtag fix Madden was the #1 trending thing in the world, and they didn't even do it. It has dropped in multiple reports, and multiple people have said they didn't do anything but change the color of the screen. As far as the font, as far as the menus, change the color of the menus. Other than that, they have literally frame for frame given you the same franchise. So be weary when people tell you that oh, we're gonna have this and we're gonna have that at lunch, and because sometimes you don't always get that. So, any other news before we move on to the topic of the podcast?
I don't think so, unless there's anything about the Xbox Series X or S that you want to talk about.
I'll just put one little tidbit out there about this. Um, Initially, I think the Xbox started out really good, and I think that in this last version of the PlayStation 4, for all intents and purposes, because of the gaming library and because of what they did, I think they beat Xbox. I think if the PlayStation 5 beat the Xbox Series X this go round, I think we might be seeing the last of the Xbox as we know it. I think the next step for them is to create maybe a low end gaming computer that can incorporate all of their services, and then that's the route they're gonna go. If this gen beats them, I think PlayStation 6, whenever it comes, might be the lone champ in the console wars. That's just my personal opinion on that. Any thoughts?
Well, I'm not totally sure. They still may keep the Xbox around just because, some people, afford console gaming, even if they could afford the low end game PC and stuff.
That may be true, but I think just like Atari, I think like Sega, I think like all those companies that had systems, I think what had happened is they would close up shop on the system hardware part of it and just become a brand. And then I think that Microsoft would just open up its games and stuff to PlayStation for you to play them on PlayStation and just become a brand instead of a console company. They'll just be a company that produces video games and still be in charge of the studios and just start selling to PlayStation. And at that point, PlayStation would be the undisputed champion.
But you gotta remember though, Nintendo, they had a couple hits, but they still came back because they just didn't give up. And you gotta understand, Microsoft has a lot of money to waste. If the Series X isn't a hit, isn't like selling well, then that probably wouldn't put a dent in the finances because they're Microsoft.
That could be true, but at some point, when do you cut your losses if you see that this is not profitable? But I mean, that's just all I wanted to say before we get into today's topic. All right, today's topic is where do we see the future of gaming going? Since this is a topic that was spurred on by Dominique, I will definitely, Dominique, give you the floor. It's all on you, Dominique.
So, where do I think the future of gaming is going?
Yep, where do you think the future of gaming is going?
I think it's going right from the viewpoint right now with all things going on. I think the future of gaming is looking kind of mixed right now because you have all this bad stuff going in the gaming industry. But you also have like a few good things like indie games and good companies like Sucker Punch and CD Projekt Red doing good stuff. So it'll only be a matter of time to tell if the good practices win over the bad practices or vice versa.
Okay, and that's it. That's where you would like to see the future of gaming go as far as just practices go.
Would I like to see it?
Yeah, where would you like to see gaming go?
Well, I would like to see a game go in a better monetized or friendly direction, like get rid of microtransactions and release complete games and stuff. But with the current rate, that might be why before any of that is achievable. And I would like at least on the consumer side of things, stop being so obsessed with graphics and stuff. So developers can cut back on costs of developing games, and so they won't have to be either filled microtransactions or more expensive to cover the cost of making it.
Okay. Well, me personally, where I would like to see games go is, unfortunately, what you just said about microtransactions is a good thought where you feel that you may not have to put microtransactions in the game. But unfortunately, I just think microtransactions are here to stay. They're not going anywhere because that's like telling somebody who go into a casino and they hit the jackpot and coins keep coming out and then they tell you that's enough. Hey, manager, can you come over here and stop this slot machine from spitting this money out to me? I think I got enough. I'm tired of it. And like I know, that'll never happen in the casino, and that'll never happen when it comes to this microtransaction. They'll never tell you stop spitting the money out. But what I would like to see as far as gaming go, mine's just a little bit simpler. I would like to just see the philosophy of how games done change as far as when it comes to open worlds and when it comes to how loot systems and when it comes to just basic common sense philosophies in games, right? Now,
I guess on Mash really didn't like Death Stranded because it changed a couple of things about gaming, how the fundamentals of a game work and stuff.
yeah, and I'll give you that. Death Stranding, because it wasn't action packed enough, and a lot of people didn't like it. But the physics and just the common sense logic I'm talking about that I would like to see changed in the game is let's say you win a game, right? And I'm gonna use let's just say The Last of Us, right? Let's say she walk up to a door and I have a shotgun on my back, I have 3 other pistols, but they'll tell you, door locked, gotta go around, gotta find another way in. I just can't stand the fact that I got stuff that could blow this door open or I could kick this door open, but physically in a world where you're supposed to be a badass, a locked wooden door keeps you from your goal. Every game does that, and I'm so sick of it.
Oh, me too. Cause playing Paper Mario was like, oh, we need to do some things. Like, I have a hammer. I could just knock the gate door down.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I wish the logic in that just changed because it's frustrating to know that you try to say, okay, this is a game, and I understand it has game world logic, but everything in the game world logic doesn't have to stay the same. Let's change some stuff. If you want to give me a puzzle or you want to give me a creative way to find around and get into it, then fine. But do not say that I cannot knock this door down. I got a shotgun on my back. I cannot blow the door open. I got to get this locked. Got to find another way around. I hate that.
Or maybe when they do that, it's like when stuff like that happens, get the protagonist, the playable character in solutions where they lose those things where, like in physics in our world, usually they'd be able to break it down, but their usual weapons that they have to knock the obstacle down is not with them at this moment. So there's like an actual inverse story reason for, why they can't get through there with their normal means of weaponry and stuff.
Okay, yes, if that's built into the story, like you had something and you got all your weapons and all of a sudden somebody snuck up behind you, knocked you out, woke up. When you woke up, all your weapons were gone. Then all of a sudden you can't get through a door because you're just like, oh man, my weapons are gone. I got to find another way around. Okay, and I've seen some games do that to try to make it logical, to try to make it all make sense. But I'm just saying the overwhelming logic and the philosophy with developers and game creators with that right there drives me insane. And I'm tired of, in some games you got where, let's say you could jump up on a car, right? And it's no problem. But you could go to another part of the board that same height. You can't jump down or you'll fall and take damage. You know what I mean? I just hate the logic behind certain things. Certain things you can climb. A fence that's right at waist level, all of a sudden he can't go. You can't climb it. I understand maybe that's software limitations or engine limitations, But I just think they need to do a better job of that. That's what I want. I want certain things to, if it makes sense in the real world, let it make sense in the game. Unless you're just giving me one of those games that's just totally fantasy and, it's just, he could fly, he could do whatever, fine. But when it comes to stuff that's supposed to be like the Apocalypse and The Last of Us and stuff like that, give me real world type stuff that happens in the game. That's just one thing I would like to see the future of gaming change. Another thing I would like to see the future of gaming is storytelling, as far as not everything has to have a happy-go-lucky ending. Sometimes leave people going, you know what, the way this ended is messed up. You mean to tell me he didn't get the girl? You mean to tell me they didn't win the kingdom back? You mean to tell me, the bad guy won? Sometimes I would like to see a story end like that.
Or start letting us play as villains instead of always playing heroes and stuff.
That too, yeah. And be a complete villain, not the villain who all of a sudden see the light and try to, change his name and trying to be good. But like you say, let us play as a complete villain. He's there to pillage and plunder and cause as much damage as he can. So that, and just the physical, another thing I would like to see change in game is, if you giving me a half game, giving me a half price. Now lately I've seen a few games come out and they be like $29.99, $39.99 for the PlayStation, because people will tell you it's not a full game, whatever. But I think some AAA games need to start doing that too, or we need to start reclassing what a AAA title is. That's what I really think, because everything that they call AAA nowadays is not AAA.
Also, on that note, along the AAA lines, I would just like some more variety, like in AAA games in general. It's like you look above in AAA games, it's mostly just either action, adventure, open world, and open world shooters. I would like some more variety in AAA games in general.
Yeah, cause every year, when it comes to the AAA games, every year, I think we get the same 4 or 5 quote unquote AAA games every year. You know what I mean? And if you are a video game person, you guys know the 5. The Assassin's Creeds, the Madden supposedly is a AAA game. The Call of Duties, the stuff, the Far Cries and the stuff like that. So we already know that those, and I'm telling you, as either we've played them so much that they don't feel AAA anymore, or they're just not AAA games anymore. I don't know which it is, but some of them just don't feel that way. Some of them literally feel like a copy and paste, and you just put it in a different portion of time. And when I play a new game, I want it to sort of feel like a new experience. But especially when it comes to the Assassin's Creeds, they just don't feel like new experiences. It just feel like different portions of the map. Like you just put me in. Go ahead.
Or in later cases, it's like, we want variety, but people are starting to complain like these later games are just not, they're just straying too far. They don't feel like an Assassin's Creed game. It's like, hey, somebody said on one point, it's like, I wouldn't be surprised if they release Assassin's Creed in World War II, but they forget the assassin.
Well, that's the theory that a lot of people are saying the same thing with EA and Madden. They just saying that EA has become so lazy as a company, so lazy as a development team, that they just refuse to make simple fixes to something that makes them so much money. It's the equivalence of you owning a mechanic shop and people coming to you with broken cars, and you never ever fix them, but keep giving them a bill. They come in and tell you, hey, look, my radiator messed up. Then you say, okay, that's fine. That'll be $262. you can go. Then they come back and say, hey, you didn't fix it. Oh, you want me to look at it again? That'll be $262. You know, that's the equivalence of doing that. Who is it's a $1 billion company. It's a $1 billion game publisher and developer, but they refuse to listen to the common people who are buying the game. But we got to put our foot down and stop buying it, you know? And EA used to be a good place. So, as far as my last thing that I would say about the future of gaming, like I said, my last thing is charge us for the quality or the level of the game. I don't want games automatically coming out at $59. PlayStation need to get a hold of some of this stuff and fix that too. That they should have some type of quality control to say, hey, look, okay, you could be on our platform, but this is not a $59.99 game. You know what I'm saying? Every game should not be $59.99 because you get a lot of games where you be going, this is crap. I want my money back, but unfortunately you can't do that. So,
well, what about quality? It's like it could be a quality game, but it's like only 2 hours worth of game, but it's really good versus a 50-hour game, but it's just kind of meh.
Okay, but yeah, okay. But that's what I'm saying. You got to develop some type of formula or criteria. Like you said, it could be a really good game, highly rated by players, right? But content-wise, it still isn't worth $59.99. But you say it's a good game. Okay, you could say, okay, it's a good game, but it's not content-wise has enough girth to say it's $59.99. We'll take $10 off, make it $49.99, right? Then you get a game, say this is not even good and it doesn't have content. This game should be $39.99. It's $20 off. I mean, come up with some formula that should determine how what the game is worth. I know that'll never happen because you'll go down a slippery slope with that. So I know it'll never happen, but I wish it was something that could be that way because I've purchased a lot of crappy games that I said to myself that no matter how you do it, I beat and played, but it was not worth the money it's for. Haven't you got some Nintendo Switch games that wasn't worth the money, or you felt everything that you've played on your Switch been worth the money?
I feel like everything I've played on my Switch has been worth the money.
Oh my God, you are such a Nintendo homer.
Well, that's because I mainly tend to stick to either first-party games or, good third-party games. I don't just go buy things. I don't just open the eShop. It's like, this looks good. I'm going to buy it.
So you've never had that purchase where you just say, I don't know much about this, but the whoever wrote the description made it sound really well. Like I just want to try. You never go off the cuff to try something to go outside of your realm or to go out your lane just a little bit to try a game that you might want to try.
No. Whenever I'm entering a game, I usually look up reviews or gameplay videos to say, this game sounds interesting, but let me look it up to see if I really want to spend money on this.
Okay, all right, I can give you that. That just makes you an informed consumer, doing your what they call due diligence to make sure you get the right thing. So, okay, I understand that. All right, so we're going to get ready to close this out. Any other thing you would like to say about where you would like to see the future of gaming? Well, really quick, I think with the PlayStation 5 and the haptic feedback on the joysticks that they are talking about, if it's everything that is advertised to be, everything that is cracked up to be, because I warn you guys, I keep telling you, hold off before you saying, oh, it has this feature and has that feature. You have to see, because some features are talked about, and then as time go on, it just kind of fades away because they realized it was either a useless feature or none of the players actually used the feature. So any other future stuff you think you might be interested in seeing see video games going before we close it out?
Oh yeah, I would really like to see development in VR technology.
Okay, where would you like to see VR go? You have VR here at the house and you don't even use it.
No, I mean, in general, I think, VR can be a really great medium for gaming. it's just like with PC gaming, it's just a really high price point. But if you need a decent power computer to run VR, and then in addition to that, you also need a VR headset. And if you live in a cramped apartment space, you can't really use VR. So it's just not really consumer friendly, or I do heard they're developing like sit down VR, so people with limited space, can potentially still enjoy VR. But I think if the price point gets better in the controllers and graphics, and with the motion blur, so people don't get motion sick, I think if they can nail those couple of things down, then VR will be, really next big thing with gaming mediums and stuff. As long as they don't cram those with, microtransactions too.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. You have PlayStation VR right here at the house and you don't even touch it. Why is that?
Because it's mostly a draining thing.
Okay, that's because in your mind you've concluded that it's mostly a Drayden thing. You could make it a Dominique thing if you just simply go over to the headset, find the game you want to play, and play it. Just that simple. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Okay, all right. So, in the closing notes, I just want to tell you guys, thank you guys for hanging out with the Watts Gaming with the Watts, the podcast. Me, Mario, and Dominique. In today's episode, we definitely talked about the future of gaming, and we got covered some news. But I want to tell you guys, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, leave some comments down in the comment section so we can get back with you. Tell us what you like. Where would you like to see the future of gaming go? Tell us some news or that we may miss. Tell us where you are watching us from. Where you at? Anything. Just leave something in the comments to let us know that you're out here. Don't forget we're out there everywhere. If you can't happen to catch the YouTube version of the podcast, don't forget we're on Anchor.fm. We're on Spotify. We're on Overcast. We're on Podcaster. We are out there just about everywhere that podcast. Come on, you could play them. I tried to say stream, but I couldn't get it out. So don't forget that we try to get podcasts out at least once a week between Thursday and Friday, preferably on Friday. We try to get them all out. So, real quick, Dominique, what's that other site you're screaming on? What's your other YouTube channel so that the people can know to check you out over there?
Dogs with 3 S's, 223.
All right, dogs with 2 S's?
3.
Dogs with 3 S's, 223 over there. It's like the word dog and 3 snakes, 3 S's and 223. You know what I mean? So check her out over there. And don't forget that I'm also the host of the Random Select podcast. You could check that out too. That's the Random Select podcast. Guys, if you feel like you want to be a part of the show, you want to correspond, or you got something that's too much to talk about in the comments, you can also hit us up with gamingwiththewatts at gmail.com. That's GWT Watts at gmail.com. Once again, that's GWT Watts at gmail.com. And we're going to close the episode out with that. People, thank you for hanging out with us. We'll catch you next week. And remember, people, a family that plays on the sticks together, sticks together. All right. Catch you guys next week.